spring morning today, Tuesday, 14th of March, Bantock Park, Wolverhampton, West Midlands, England. And we're starting off today's little nature walk to see what nature is telling us about these times at the spot where Janet and I came to a meditation together a week ago. In that meditation we were given clear guidance to produce this little film for you today to participate in it. So finding yourself on these journeys a lovely spot to rest, to connect with nature, to communicate with the nature spirits is the first step on this journey. So let's go on our journey. So our first stopping point is this beautiful ginkgo tree, who's a little underdressed for the occasion, but probably where we'd expect him to be this time of year. I have got some more footage that I took last year about ginkgo, but you can see life has left you a little bit broken, obviously split in two at some point in the past, and thriving nevertheless. How many of us feel like that? How many of us have kind of had to twist around life, have to bend ourselves? I felt broken by life events and had to pull ourselves back together. So that's one of the first things that we learn from ginkgo today, and I shall be telling you a little bit more about ginkgo medicinally in the other little film that I shall be adding to this later. But you can see broken through a similar situation, and he had to more or less start again. So it's looking at us, looking at times in our lives when that has happened, and how strong we've been, and how resilient we've been, and how much we've grown because of it. Also, if you come a little closer, you can see that this has got lichens or lichens, however you want to say it, growing on there. So we can have a little close-up of that on the plant. These give us shape and texture, of course. It's another little plant that works symbiotically and lives and works to the advantage of both trees, both plants rather. Excuse me. As you know, I work a lot with nature and I work a lot with the nature spirits, and very often when you're walking and working this way, if you look at the shapes that are intimating this, for example, just here, if you can come round here and have a look at this. To me, I can see like a little hedgehog snout peeking up out of there. This is Fae language. I spent years trying to understand Fae language, and then I realised that actually it is talking to me all the while, I just have to interpret it, and that is an individual thing. So it's about the thoughts, the memories and associations we have with what we see in the form of nature that teaches us this language. We go into that in more depth in our workshops. But little hedgehog snout coming out at the moment. At this time, a few days away from the equinox and the great events that are coming up in this year, March 23, we feel a little bit spiky. We feel we need to be very protective. We feel like rolling ourselves up in a ball and getting away from nature and everything else that's going on. And this is what hedgehog is saying, that it's actually okay to come out and to move on. And this is what this time of year is offering us. Now, whilst we're here, I'm going to invite you to walk over here with me and have a look. When you're going on these nature walks, always look around you. Well, start off, you don't want to trip up on fall down a hole, do you? And here you've got rabbit holes. These are natural rabbit holes. They were quite evident last summer, but they've obviously filled up with the leaves and things. So we've got a rabbit hole. In my work, I often refer in the workshops and the training, just going down the Google rabbit hole. So we'll get a synchronicity or an idea going onto that wonderful Google device. It used to be called Senior Moments, now called Google Moments at my stage of life. But we're able to follow through those associations and we get a lot of meaning and understanding, particularly in working on with the energy of plants, which is what I do with quantum imprinting, of course. So that is telling us you need to go a little bit deeper. You need to perhaps do a little bit of research, because we know underneath that there's a whole load of tunnels that connect up to everything else. So where is it in our life right now? We need to go beneath the surface and just look underneath things. Okay, so the next thing we've got here, which is wonderful, just scan up there, have a look at this beautiful tree. It's beautiful, it's smooth. This is a sequoia or a redwood. As you can see, it goes up a long way. I have giant sequoias or redwoods in America. Many of the ancient ones that have lived for thousands of years have been chopped down in America recently, I have to say. And what a loss to the world. Now remember that when you look up to a tree, to the very top of a tree, you've got the same amount of spread and depth beneath the ground as well. Because as above, so below. This tree I've made essences from, quantum imprint essences, and this is about strength and it's about resilience and it's about standing up for what's right and endurance. And those are the situations, that's where it would indicate the use of this. So just touching that redwood, solid, base chakra, strength, drawing our energy from the earth. And this is what we should be doing this time of year. And then we take the higher view of situations that might have, like our friend Ginkgo over there, that might have damaged us and split us, so we had to go other ways that we never intended. This is the tree, and you'll always find that trees growing next to each other have a combined narrative when you put their symbolism together. So that's our beautiful sequoia, our redwood tree. So let's move on now to another part of our walk and see where we're going with this. Just have a span up and have a look. Beautiful tall tree here. Lovely low long boughs coming out, okay? Now, we're looking at the time of year, this is spring. And as we look at this and look at it closely, you can have a scan in on seeing this closely. You can see like lots of little nodules and these like little cones coming out where the leaves are coming from, like little rosettes coming out. This is very much like Equistalis or horsetail, which is another plant which is silicon based that we look at in our programme. But time of year is important. We're in early spring, just about. And a little later on when this comes to seed, you just wipe your fingers down and you get beautiful blue blooms of the seeds coming off. And it's almost like watching somebody breathe out. So this is a cedar and it's a brevia meaning a short-leafed plant. Yeah, and when I got the seeds for making an essence, quantum essence from, this is for doing, it's indicated for breath. It can be breathing a sigh of relief out. It can be clearing the breath. I'm asthmatic, and when I had COVID earlier this year, this is one of the quantum imprints I was taking to help my breathing at the time, and so it just helps you have that out breath. It helps you let go. And again, at this time of year, this specific time, astrologically, which is unprecedented in times, it is letting go and saying, yeah, let's let go of this, let's release, let's move on. It's cold today, forgive me. Anyway, so that's the cedar brevia. So let's walk on and see what else we can find. What is that telling us? It's telling us to let go, to go, it's okay, it's all right. I'm going to get through this. Everything's going to be okay, my friends. Let's look at what we've got here. Beautiful little snowdrop, still in flower. They're going over a little bit, but they are fabulous. I made an essence of this from here last year. You look inside the flower, how beautiful are they? And I will put some pictures on with this. But snowdrop, literally, the name, they're the first flower through in the new year, and aren't they brave? They've come out of this frozen space that we're in, and they're giving us hope, they're giving us looking forward to something, opportunities. Look at the new growth in our life, look at the new beginnings, all that new growth that builds on the leaves and what's been discarded from last year. We can look forward now. We've come out of that cold season. While we're here, if you can just span round with me and just look at this. Outside. That's a fan. I want to get a fan of this. That's lovely. You look at the trees. You always look. These are fairy doors traditionally. So they are entrances into the ground by the nature spirits. These are wonderful. So we know that something is going to be special here. And I've got some more information in another little film I'll put together. But always look at what you find outside the fairy doors. And if you're going to give something, that could be a horse chestnut that you find or something, leave them there as a gift for the Fae. Nature will respond to you. If you look at the side of this, you can look at the lichens growing on this tree. And again, just doing an imaginative, what can I see in that? To me, if you can scan into that and see, to me, you've got somebody teaching a group of children or a group of people who are eager to learn. What that is telling me at the moment with my work and my direction is that this is where my work is going again at this point in my career. Amazing. But if you just look at these different, have a few moments, just look, what can you see? What shapes? What associations have you got? What can you see in here? And this is how we begin to communicate with the Fae. So let's move on and see what else this little walk on this beautiful spring morning, cold, has got to tell us. Right, so the next stop on our beautiful walk at this time is with the crocuses. And it's lovely to have the snowdrops, the crocuses and the daffodils in flower together because they're telling us a lot. Now crocus is so valuable, such a valuable little flower, and the reason it's so valuable is just here you can see this beautiful yellow pollen on the flower. That is what saffron, the spice, is made from, and it's very valuable. It's more expensive than gold, weight by weight, for the saffron. And this is about abundance, and it's about value, and it's about self-worth. So crocus, just from the flower and the pollen alone, and I've got the quantum imprint essence of this, is about our self-worth, our self-esteem and our self-value, which is important when we come to link it with daffodil, the other flower that's around at the moment. It's also very important because of the root. The root of crocus is very good for uterus problems and uterine issues, and I'll show you a picture of this afterwards, but it's like an onion with the layers in it. So it's the shape of the uterus and the layers within the uterus of protection. So this is about protection of ourselves within ourselves, protection of our creativity and healing the damage that is very often done with uterine issues. And we'll talk a little bit more about that with the presentation later. Okay, so now we're coming to the beautiful daffodils that are just waking up. So what message are they bringing to us today? Very important when we look about our self-worth and self-identity with crocus, but just look at daffodils. They're sunshine. Just look at that beautiful crown. But look at the trumpet. This is all about blowing our own trumpet. This is about not being afraid to tell others who we are, what we've achieved, what our accomplishments are, what we can do, because we have to recognise self-worth. As Crocus told us, this is about shouting out, because now is the time. And look at the sunlight coming out now over these beautiful daffodils to throw some light on who we are and what we do. We are going through times where we are going to have to help others, especially if we are light workers, to be able to be of service to others, to help them through the shortages and the ravages of what's going on around us in the chaos right now. You need to stand up, you need to be counted, and you need to be able to say, I can do that, I can blow my own trumpet. Beautiful message today from Daffodil.